It's 3 a.m. You can't sleep. And somehow tonight, your brain decided to go somewhere weirdly specific. You know how literally everything in your house has an expiration date? Food, medicine, even your shampoo eventually stops working right. So, does poison have one too? And if it does, here's the actually unsettling part. When poison expires, does it get weaker? Or does it somehow get more dangerous? Welcome back to StickHead. Let's actually figure this out. Before we can answer that, we need to agree on what poison even means, because the word is way broader than people think. A poison is basically any substance capable of damaging living tissue through a chemical reaction once it gets into the body, whether that's through eating it, drinking it, breathing it in, injection, or even just touching it. And it can be totally natural or completely man-made. Here's the thing that trips people up. Because that definition is so broad, poison isn't really one thing. There's an entire branch of science just for studying this. It's called toxicology. And there's a quote from a 16th century physician named Paracelsus that basically sums up the whole field. Everything around us is technically a poison. It's the dose that determines whether it's harmful or not. That sounds like a weird exaggeration. It's not. Even water, something your body genuinely can't survive without, can poison you if you drink way more than your body can process. Dose really is everything. Toxicologists actually sort poisons into different categories to make sense of this chaos. By function, pharmacological, dietary, neurological. By physical form, liquid, solid, gas, vapor. And by origin, plant-based, animal-based, or synthetic. And animal-based poisons alone? Scientists estimate there are over 220,000 different types across the animal kingdom. Some of the most studied ones today come from snakes, spiders, and scorpions. To actually answer our question, we need to zoom in on one specific type first: snake venom. There's a demonstration that's been done showing venom from different desert vipers mixed into human blood samples, and the results are honestly kind of wild. Even though all three were technically snake venom, each one did something completely different to the blood. One caused it to clot almost instantly, another one thinned it out completely, and a third had basically zero visible effect on blood thickness at all. That's the same broad category, snake venom, behaving in three totally different ways. Here's the part that makes it even messier. A single snake's venom isn't even one substance. It's usually a cocktail of hundreds of different proteins and enzymes all mixed together, meaning one animal can carry several different types of toxins simultaneously. Some vipers alone carry over a dozen distinct toxic compounds in a single bite. Okay, here's where we actually get somewhere. Poisons that come from plants or animals are called organic poisons. And organic poisons genuinely do break down over time. But because venom is a mixture of multiple different compounds, each individual compound has its own separate shelf life, and it's usually a pretty long one. So even after some of those compounds degrade, the others are often still fully active and still dangerous. That means as time passes, an organic poison doesn't just switch off. It gradually gets weaker, compound by compound, until eventually the whole thing loses its potency entirely. So, for organic poisons, the answer's simple. When they expire, they get weaker. But that's only half the story, because not every poison is organic. The reason organic poisons break down is that their compounds are held together by carbon-hydrogen bonds, and those bonds are relatively weak and easy to break apart over time. Inorganic poisons don't have that structure. Take lead or arsenic, for example. both extremely toxic and both naturally occurring elements in the Earth's crust. In their raw elemental form, they don't break down the way organic compounds do. Does that mean they last forever, unchanged? Not exactly. Elements like this have something called a half-life, the amount of time it takes for half of a given quantity of the substance to decay. The substance itself isn't getting weaker. Its toxicity per unit stays exactly the same, but the total quantity present slowly decreases over time. One isotope of lead, lead-210, has a half-life of about 22 years. So if you had 10 grams of it today, came back in 22 years, you'd find about 5 grams remaining. But that remaining 5 grams would be just as toxic, gram for gram, as it was on day 1. So, inorganic poisons don't get weaker with time. There's just less of them. And now for the genuinely unsettling part, because there's a third category, and this one doesn't fit either pattern. Some manufactured poisons actually get more dangerous after their expiration date, not less. Take agricultural pesticides. They're designed to kill pests damaging crops, but manufacturers put expiration dates on them specifically because, past that date, the chemical composition can start to shift. Research from Michigan State University warned that using expired pesticides carries a real risk. The breakdown products can actually become toxic to the very plants they're meant to protect. And if that plant ends up as food, those altered compounds can end up harming the people eating it too. This isn't unique to pesticides either. Some medications, many of which are technically derived from substances that are toxic at the wrong dose, can undergo the same kind of transformation. After expiration, certain compounds break down or react into new byproducts that can specifically damage the liver or kidneys. The exact resulting compounds vary drastically depending on the original medication, so there's no single universal answer here, just a consistent warning sign. So here's where we land. Poison isn't one thing, and neither is its shelf life. Organic poisons, venom, plant toxins, genuinely weaken and fade over time. Inorganic poisons, like lead and arsenic, don't weaken at all. There's simply less of them as time passes. And some manufactured poisons do something scarier altogether. They get more dangerous the longer they sit past their expiration date. Turns out, does poison expire was never a yes or no question. It depends entirely on what kind of poison you're asking about. That's one question down. Got something bugging you at 3 a.m.? Drop it in the comments. Might be next episode. I'm StikHead. See you at 3 a.m.